Today on Rocky Mountain Rangers, well, the Colorado Rockies lost another series, but their offense broke out in a much-needed win yesterday. And despite the fact that Texas Rangers beat the Oakland Athletics, I'm not that really impressed with them. I'm more disappointed. This is Rocky Mountain Rangers.
Baseball is America's pastime, but in Denver, Colorado, and Arlington, Texas, it means that much more. This is the post-game reaction podcast to the Colorado Rockies and the Texas Rangers. This is Rocky Mountain Rangers.
Hello, Rockies and Rangers fans everywhere. Welcome to another edition of Rocky Mountain Rangers, your reaction podcast covering the Colorado Rockies and the World Series champion Texas Rangers, who ironically are starting a 3-game series tonight at Coors Field as the Texas Rangers look to get right against the Colorado Rockies. I'll explain that in just a moment. I am your host, Skylar Weisberg, a Texas Ranger and Colorado Rockies baseball fan, and I would like to thank each and every one of you so much for tuning into today's program. You can find Rocky Mountain Rangers, which is absolutely completely free and available on your favorite podcast app like Amazon Music, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Pandora, CastBox, and wherever you get your favorite podcast. You can also find it on my YouTube channel, NJHawk40. If you are watching this show on YouTube, I greatly appreciate you. If you can give me a like button on this video, if you enjoy it, hit subscribe to my YouTube channel, turn on that notification bell so you know when the next time Rocky Mountain Rangers goes live on YouTube, and please leave a positive comment down below. I don't want to see any negative Nancy's over here. Just keep it all positive. If you are a Colorado Rockies, a Texas Ranger fan, or a baseball fan in general, I greatly appreciate each and every one of you for checking out the show. You can give the show a follow on those platforms if you can please. Turn on your notifications so you know about the next episode, and give Rocky Mountain Rangers a 5-star review on whatever podcast platform you are listening to this on. And please spread the word out to your friends, your fellow Colorado Rockies, and fellow Texas Rangers baseball fans. It is an amazing way to support the podcast and support the show. And once again, I greatly appreciate each and every one of you for tuning in. I'm going to have to keep it 100 with each and every one of you, and I'm going to have to be absolutely blunt when I say this. Even though the Texas Rangers, the reigning defending undisputed World Series champions, beat the Oakland Athletics in a 4-game series, because 2 of them were a straight-up doubleheader, which I never see often in a regular season. You know, it's one thing if a game gets postponed due to rain, kind of like my high school baseball game got postponed today due to rain. They actually moved it to a different location because another location had a turf baseball field, and obviously we don't. But it's one thing if it gets postponed because of rain and it has to be made up as a doubleheader, right? But a doubleheader in season where there's no rescheduling, just a straight doubleheader, that's a little bit unique for me, and maybe unique for baseball fans everywhere, because you don't see a straight doubleheader that often. If it was made up as a doubleheader, that's one thing. But a straight doubleheader, that is just absolutely unique for me. But back to the original point. Although the Texas Rangers beat the Oakland Athletics in a 4-game series, we took 3 out of 4. I will take that any day of the week and twice on Sunday. But I need to be completely honest. I am not impressed with this team at all. And more specifically, I am talking about the pitching for the Texas Rangers. Not so much the offense. I thought the offense did a really great job, and they did what they're supposed to do. I mean, Corey Seager came up huge. He had a go-ahead home run in Game 1. Marcus Semien was absolutely amazing. Nathaniel Lowe's getting back into form. Bombino is doing whatever the heck he always does. Jonah Heim is coming up big. Evan Carter stepped up. But if it wasn't for the offense, we would have lost this series. Because I'm not going to lie to you. As far as the pitching for the Texas Rangers go in this series, I'm a little disappointed. Actually, I'm very disappointed, honestly. And I know that we've had a lot of injuries. We already have so many injuries on this roster and so much injuries on this roster. It is unfreaking believable. Josh Boers is back on the IL. We are already dealing with Josh Young, Jacob deGrom, Max Scherzer, those kinds of injuries. We recently put Dane Dunning, one of our starters, in the IL. And then we had our ace, Nathan Eovaldi, Big Game Nate, the hero of the World Series, Big Game Nate on the IL. Like, you gotta be kidding me. Like, you seriously gotta be kidding me. I don't know if the baseball gods are cursing the Texas Rangers after a World Series hangover, but I feel like that's what's happening here. I don't know, and I don't understand why the Texas Rangers are dealing with so many injuries at this point of the season. But I thought about it, I rested on it, I meditated on it, and here's what I'm thinking. It's better off for the Texas Rangers to deal with these injuries now than later in the season, and then, God forbid, the stupid, stinking Houston Astros winning the American League West. That ain't gonna happen. That seriously ain't gonna happen. I feel that the Texas Rangers are going to get back on track. They will get healthy as the season continues to progress. Somehow, some way, the Texas Rangers are back in first place in the American League West where they belong. I think I could call it where they belong, but that is beside the point. The point is, it wasn't pretty. It wasn't great at times for Texas. But you know what? Ultimately, it's 3 out of 4 against the Oakland Athletics, a team that you are ultimately supposed to be. And I'm going to give the Oakland Athletics a whole lot of credit here. They are not a good team. They've been a surprise. They've been a surprise team so far this season. Mason Miller, the closer, he is just an absolute dynamo pitching on the mound. At one time, he pitched 103, 102 mile-an-hour fastballs against the New York Yankees at one point. I was watching him the other day, and I'm like, damn, I'm really impressed about how this guy pitches. So I'm not saying that the Oakland Athletics are going to go deep into the postseason and not go far. Could they potentially be a wild card if the season ended right now? Then yes, I would consider it. But right now, they're third in the American League West as far as I'm concerned, and they've been a surprise team so far this season. They're not great, but I'm going to call them a surprise team, and that gives a whole lot of respect for me, because last year the Oakland Athletics had one of the worst seasons in Major League Baseball history, but now they've been one of the surprises of the season so far. And again, I don't expect Oakland to do a lot of big things as the season continues to progress, but you know what? For right now, the A's are impressive. They're not great. They're not a good team. They might be average at best, but so far I'm really impressed with what they look like so far this season. In Game 1, the Texas Rangers took it by a final score of 4-2, thanks to a go-ahead 3-run home run in the 8th inning by Corey Seager. That was a big difference in that game. Andrew Heaney got the start. He didn't get the win, but he pitched 6 innings, 7 hits, 1 earned run, 5 strikeouts. The Rangers were 0-6 coming in when Andrew Heaney pitches. And I am Not that surprised with that record because I know how Andrew Heaney pitches. He gives up a lot of home runs, and sometimes he's not that consistent. I was a little worried for Andrew Heaney not being consistent when he pitches on the mound. But you know what? The Rangers got the win thanks to Corey Seager, and Kirby Yates got his 6th save of the year. Jose Leclerc got the win. He had 2 Ks on 1 walk in the 1 inning that he came in. As far as players who stood out, not a lot of hits. Not a lot of hits for the Rangers. I ain't gonna lie to you. They only had 5 hits in this game, but Corey Seager went 1 for 5, but he had the go-ahead 3-run home run. Nathaniel Lowe looked really impressive. He was 1 for 3 in the game. Josh Smith came in as a pinch hitter. He got his lone hit of the night. Leody Taveras was 1 for 2 on the day. In Game 2, the Texas Rangers, I'm not gonna lie, when they were up 11-2, somewhere in that range in the 2nd inning, I thought we were going to easily win this game. But Oakland wanted to make this interesting. They scored 10 runs in the 2nd inning. They had nearly 20 hits, 19 of them to be exact. The Rangers offense looked like the Rangers offense of old in Game 2. And Marcus Semien, 4 for 5, home run, 5 RBIs, 3 runs scored. He was absolutely outstanding. Corey Seager, 2 for 4. Nathaniel Lowe, 2 for 4. Jonah Heim had a 4-hit game. He was 4 for 4 with 3 runs scored and 2 RBIs. Evan Carter, 1 for 6. Josh Smith, 2 for 6 with an RBI. And Jose Urena, he was the one that got the start because I thought that this was going to be a bullpen game for Texas. This was going to be a bullpen game for them. And I thought Jose Urena looked absolutely solid. Absolutely solid in this game. But the A's came back. The A's came back and scored 6 unanswered runs in the 6th, 7th, and 8th innings combined to make it interesting. And meanwhile, while the Texas Rangers won this game by a final score of 15-8, I am not really impressed as far as the pitching goes. I mean, Hernandez came in and walked 5 batters. That is absolutely unacceptable. Rodriguez gave up 4 earned runs and 3 hits. That is unacceptable. I thought Cole Winn was the only pitcher that did his job with the 1 walk and the 1 strikeout with no runs and no hits given up. But at the end of the day, a win is a win. I mean, you can't really can't really thank the pitching for this because I thought the pitching in this series for Texas was absolutely disgraceful, but the offense did their job and did what they were supposed to do. In Game 1 of the doubleheader, even though the A's won 9-4, I thought in Game 1 the Texas Rangers overlooked Oakland. I mean, yeah, Marcus Semien went 3 for 5 with a home run and an RBI and 2 runs scored. But that was pretty much it as far as like standout players. I mean, Kisner went 1 for 3. Tavares went 1 for 4. Michael Lorenzen got absolutely rocked. 6 innings, 6 earned runs, 2 walks, 6 Ks, and giving up 9 hits. Cole Winn, he was solid once again. 2 innings, 3 earned runs, 1 walk and 2 Ks, but it was about Shea freaking Langoliers for the Oakland Athletics. I don't understand. I don't understand when it comes to the A's playing the Texas Rangers. Shea Langoliers comes into the plate and we make him look like the prime version of Ryan Howard, or the prime version of Barry Bonds, or the prime version of Hank Aaron, or the prime version of Nolan Arenado, or the prime version of Todd Helton out there. I don't understand. I really do not understand. I don't know if Shea Langoliers is a Texas boy and no wonder why he dominated the Rangers, but come on now. Like, come on. I mean, the Rangers, they know better. They know better. And in the last game yesterday, it was a slugfest. 12-11. I mean, else am I going to call it? It was an absolute slugfest. Simeon, 3 for 5. Jonah Heim, 2 for 4. Travis Jankowski, 2 for 3. We saw Robbie Grossman came back, by the way. We just got him off a trade from the Chicago White Sox. He was 0 for 2. Ezekiel Duran had a 3-hit game. He was 3 for 4. Jankowski hit a homer. Jankowski was 2 for 3 with an RBI. Jonah Heim had a 3 RBI game. El Bombay hit an RBI. Josh Smith RBI. 3 RBI game for Nathaniel Lowe as well. Evan Carter had an RBI. And of course, Shea Langoliers did his damage, and we gave up a first career home run for Soderstrom. But again, I thought the Rangers did what they needed to do as far as offense goes. The pitching was absolutely stagnant. I mean, Jack Leiter, 4 innings, 7 hits, 4 runs, 3 Ks. This kid is not ready in the major league level. In my opinion, he's not ready for the major leagues. He needs to go back to AA, AAA. I don't know where this kid got called up from, but Jack Leiter is not ready for the major leagues, at least not yet. If he refines his mechanics, then maybe he could be ready a little later on, but right now, this kid is not ready for the major leagues. Going into this get right series for against the Colorado Rockies for the Texas Rangers, I need to see if the Texas Rangers pitching can bounce back. If I see the Rangers with their pitching, who is completely tested right now due to injuries, and I get it, give up a series win or sweep against the Rockies. That won't happen because I got the Texas Rangers. But if the Rangers lose this series, you're not going to like me in the next episode. So Texas, do what you're supposed to do, stand on business, and get it done. I'll be back to talk about the most disappointing team in the league, the worst team in baseball, mind you, the Colorado Rockies, right after this, when Rocky Mountain Rangers comes right back. We're back on Rocky Mountain Rangers, and there's no easy way to say it. I mean, there's no way to sugarcoat it. The Colorado Rockies are officially the worst team in all of baseball. But we already knew what was going to happen. We already knew that the Rockies were straight up terrible. We already knew that the Colorado Rockies were straight up garbage, losing another series. Why am I not surprised? Why am I not surprised that the Colorado Rockies lost another series to a team that, coming into this series, in the San Francisco Giants, were playing the worst brand of baseball at this point of the season? What do the San Francisco Giants do? Take 2 out of 3 from the Rockies because the Rockies finally had a little bit of pride, finally had a little bit of pulse, finally had a little bit of heart in yesterday's game when they beat San Francisco by a final score of 9-1. Where in the living hell was that heart? Where in the living hell was that fight in the first 2 games? Now, I will give Colorado a little bit of credit here. I will give them credit because they made it a little interesting in the second game. But when you are constantly playing from behind, when you are constantly battling from behind every game that the Colorado Rockies have done at this point of the season, then there's no point of winning. There's no point of playing competitive baseball when this team constantly plays from behind. I don't get it. I don't understand it. I blame it on the coaching. I blame it on the manager. I blame it on the players, honestly, because this team is just absolutely heartless. Absolutely heartless. I mean, you give up a three hit game from Jung-Ho Lee in game one. Harrison was absolutely phenomenal. 7 scoreless innings. As far as the Rockies, nobody showed up. I mean, Brendan Rodgers went 1 for 3. Ezekiel Tovar 1 for 4 in game one. But overall, that was pretty much it. A 10-hit day for the San Francisco Giants. And Michael Conforto, this guy has torched the living hell out of the Colorado Rockies all series long. The Giants take game one by a final score of 5-0. It was an absolutely heartless performance by the Colorado Rockies in that game. Now to game two. The San Francisco Giants scored 6 runs in the second inning. We all thought that this game was over. As soon as I saw the San Francisco Giants go up 6-0, I thought, well, this game is over. Another pinnable series loss for the Colorado Rockies. They actually made it interesting, especially towards the end of the game when Elias Diaz hit a home run in the ninth to make it an 8-6 game. And I thought Charlie Blackmon did his vintage Charlie Blackmon stuff. But again, it was Michael Conforto, the story of the game and the story of the series. He went 3 for 4 with 2 runs, an RBI, and a home run. As far as Colorado, Elias Diaz went 2 for 4. Chuck Nasty was 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs. Beck was 2 for 4. Bouchard had a 3-8 game, 3 for 4. I thought the young guys did a really great job of stepping up in that game. But again, the Colorado Rockies came up short, but I admire the effort in that game. Yesterday's game, I thought this was the best performance that the Colorado Rockies have played so far this season, particularly offensively, as the offense finally gave me a little bit of a pulse. Ezekiel Tovar, 3 for 5 with an RBI. Charlie Blackmon was 3 for 5 with 2 RBIs in this game. Rymack had an RBI. He finished 1 for 4. Elias Diaz, 2 for 4. He had an RBI. Bouchard, 2 for 4 with an RBI. Brendan Doyle with a 3-run home run in this game. 2 for 4 with 3 big RBIs. Colin Quantrill was brilliant. 6 innings, 5 hits, 1 earned run, 5 Ks, 3 walks. But a 7-run 4th inning was a big difference for the Colorado Rockies as the Rockies take the game by a final score of 9-1, salvaging this pitiful 3-game series for them. Although they got 14 hits in game 3 and a 7-run 4th inning, why can't we do this consistently? This team is way too talented. This team is really talented. They don't deserve to be the worst team in baseball. In my honest opinion, the Chicago White Sox deserve to be the worst team of baseball. But here we are because of incompetent coaching, incompetent management, and a front office that doesn't do jack squat of how to improve the team, about how to prepare the team to make the Rockies better. The front office made the Rockies bitter. Having said all of that, I don't think the Colorado Rockies have a chance in this series against the reigning, defending, undisputed world champion Texas Rangers because, as I said earlier, I think this is a get-right series for the Texas Rangers. Not so much as far as offense goes because they are the number 1 offense in the American League, being the Texas Rangers, but I feel like the Texas Rangers will get a get-right series out of the Colorado Rockies because their pitching needs to get back right on track. I expect the Texas Rangers to strike out a whole lot of Rockies batters because the Colorado Rockies are so undisciplined at the plate. I am not going to say sweep for the Texas Rangers. I think the Rockies will get 1, but I think the Texas Rangers will take at least 2 out of 3. If the Rangers sweep the Rockies, I won't be surprised, but good teams are able to beat bad teams. But ultimately, at the end of the day, I feel like the Texas Rangers will do what they're supposed to do. That's going to do it for today's edition of Rocky Mountain Rangers. You can find this show on Spotify, Amazon Music, wherever you get your podcasts, as well as YouTube. Like the video if you are watching on YouTube. Hit subscribe to my YouTube channel. Turn on that notifications, hit that notification bell, and rate Rocky Mountain Rangers 5-star review on your podcast platform if you are listening to this whatever you're listening to this on. I'm your host, Skylar Weisberg. Thank you all for tuning in, and until next time, so long from the Rocky Mountain Rangers podcast.